What's going on, guys? So I'm going to make a short video to explain. It's not going to be a short video at all. It's probably going to take a while. Sorry about that. Clear your schedule. Right. So this is basically going to explain how you're going to use what I'm going to give you to build some levels, to test some mechanics, to do some things which isn't finished. So yeah. Right. So if we go into Unity here, this is what you should be able to see once you've downloaded the package that I'm going to give you, and then it should come up with just these things. If you open Mana Cannon, it might look kind of messy. If you close everything down, go to Scenes and go to MC Weak Test 1, which will bring up what I've done here, pretty much. So all this is going to be is just a scene where you can walk around and you can move your guy, and that's all it is. Everything else is going to be done by you guys, so good luck with that. But I'm going to run through and explain how you change all the things. How you can change variables within objects to change how mechanics work, pretty much. So, basically all I'm going to do, I'm going to run through all these things and show you how to set up some really simple events? Not really events, but just the things that can happen in the game. So, first of all I'm going to show you is basically the prefabs, and these are all the things that you're going to use, just objects that you can click and drag in. So the first one is the Mana Cannon. So let's drag the Mana Cannon into this scene. What I would suggest is over here, using this gizmo, always make sure that you're in the back view using this thing, so you can see it changes to right, change to back, and you might be able to see here there's 3 lines. If you click on that, it will change to the inward lines, which mean perspective. Stay out of that, just go in ISO, and you'll see everything from a flat 2D perspective. Makes it really easy to set stuff up. So once it's like that, you've dragged it in, and it's sitting on the thing. Hold on, we look in here, no it's not. The reason it's not doing that is because it's not zeroed. Everything that goes in the game has to be zeroed on the Z-axis. I can't stress that enough, because a bunch of mechanics flat out will not work if it's like 0.1, okay? It's the bane of using 2D in Unity without using 4.3 at the moment. Yeah, so that's the Mana Cannon. Let's look at what it can do. So, on the Mana Cannon, the first thing is you have all these normal components and crap. The first one that we see that we're interested in is if PC close. This is basically the relationship between the cannon and the playable character. And the only thing that we can change is the distance. This changes how far away the PC can be before it can use the cannon. I normally set it to 2, just because that's like a nice distance to be able to use it from. And then the next one is the Catalyst Nozzle Manager. This is kind of the script where everything that happens with all of the catalysts and all of the nozzles and all of the player input while you're on the cannon happens. So it's quite a complex script. But I've managed to hide everything that's not important to you guys, so it just has the first catalyst and the first nozzle. To make the cannon work, it needs to have a nozzle straight away. So at the moment, I've just got it default set to inverse nozzle. If you want to default set it to AoE, then you take AoE and you drag it in. If you want to set it to spray, you take spray and you drag it in. But I'm going to leave it with inverse. The cannon has to have a nozzle in it straight away to work. This can change if whatever. This can change if you want it to change, but for now, it has to work. It has to have a nozzle in it for it to work straight away. Catalyst, not important. It can start with nothing, or you can drag one in. So if we drag the push catalyst in, it will start with the push catalyst. I'll show you what I mean. If we load the game up, we've set the distance to 2. So while we're away from it, it'll do nothing. When we go up to it, the thing will show up. We press E, the GUI will pop up, and it's already loaded with the force catalyst and the inverse nozzle. Now if we want to change which one we're using, we press 1, 2, 3 and 4, which will change all those things. And for now, because we haven't changed all the control schemes and stuff, inverse, spray and AoE are set to 5, 6 and 7. This will change to, I think it was the mouse wheel we decided on as the thingy. But anyway, for now, that's just how you control that, and that's how you change that. Yeah, so that's what the Mana Cannon can do. So, if we go down here, the catalysts have their own things in here. So for the clone catalyst, has a power and a range. Power doesn't really do doesn't do anything. It's just being copied from everything else. That's pretty much the same. Power doesn't really do anything for the clone catalyst, but the range is important because that controls how far I can go, how long the default thingy is. And this is the same for the clone catalyst. Fire catalyst doesn't work at the moment. Push catalyst has the same power and a range. Obviously, the power matters for that because it depends. Doesn't depend. It dictates how powerful, and yeah, dictates how powerful it pushes and pulls, and the range is obviously how long it works. Shrink is a little bit different because they're exactly the same, but the power has to be a really, really small number. At the moment, I've set it to 0.05, and we can make that even slower or even faster. But if you're going to make it fast, like really fast, I'd make it like 0.2. Like I really wouldn't change it much. But yeah, that's how you can change those things. Characters PC. In here, the only thing that's important is a script that Malky and Connor worked on together, which changes speed of the character, gravity of the character, and the jump speed. That can be played around with a bit. Yeah, that's how you change that stuff. Environment objects, right, this is how you build your own levels. So if we open up the view scene thingy, if we take a platform, drag it in the scene, it'll give us another platform. We can do that as many times as we like. What I tend to do is make one and then just copy and paste and control drag, because you can keep everything on the same thing. Everything's nice and neat, and there won't be any seams or anything. Yeah, that's for that. And the other one is ray passable platform. This is what I've been using so that the cannon can shoot through stuff. It works exactly the same as a platform, except you can shoot through stuff, pretty much. Those things, you can scale them as much as you like. Anything else, I wouldn't scale it, just in case it cocks something up, because some stuff isn't meant to be scaled, some stuff is built with its size in mind. So yeah, these two things can be scaled as much as you like. And here's the fun stuff. So, the box is just the box. Has a rigid body and a bunch of scripts and stuff. Most of it is not really important, but it has scripts for how it's going to interact when it's expecting to be pushed and pulled, grown and shrunk, and cloned and destroyed. Obviously there'll be a fire and freeze one here as well. But it's got other stuff to do with the way that it's related to dispensers, if it has a dispenser, and resetting. That's not important for now. That's something that I'll venture into maybe in like March or something. But yeah, so here, once the cannon hits it and tells it to shrink or grow, what's the shrink limit, which is basically a percentage, and a grow limit, which again is a percentage. So you can go to 75% or 200%. And cloning and destroying. So clone delay is if you're holding the ray over the object, how often it will pop out another clone. So at the moment it's set to 0.5 seconds. So if you're holding onto it, after 0.5 seconds it'll pop something out. After another 0.5 seconds it'll pop something else out. Similarly, it has a limit. So at the moment it can only make 3, and you can change that obviously as freely as you like. And a lifetime for how long clones stay alive for before they kill themselves. The dispenser. Dispensers can be placed in the scene, and they have an object to spawn, so you can drag, like, if you take the box, that's a bit of a shit example. Let's pull one in here. So dispenser, set it to 0, and if we, we'll move this over here, move that over there, move this, right, so the dispenser has a spawn delay of 1 second, so when it's being told to spawn, it waits a second and then drops something, and finds the object to spawn. The way that you change that is that when you've got it up here, you grab one of the prefabs, so if we want it to be a box, we grab the box and drag it in there, and now it will spawn a box. So, go into the game, and it spawns a box. So if we go into the scene, game view, if we use the numerical catalyst and the inverse nozzle, right click is to do the opposite of cloning, so it destroys it. And it makes another one. I don't know why it stayed up in the air. I'll fix that. Yeah, That's, yeah, never mind. I'll fix that before I send it to you guys. The screen may have jumped around a bit there. My screen cap software has a limit of 10 minutes for some strange reason, so I'll have to cut them all together. But it's not important. Right, so yeah, I'll get rid of that stupid glitch thing anyway. Yeah, so that's what the dispenser does. Right. Door up, down. So basically this is a door. Let's drag these in and show you what they do. So, drag a door in. Set it to 0. Shit, missed. Set it to 0. And there's a door. Basically. So, the doors are opened, as I'm sure you've all seen, by switches. We now have a bunch of working switches, which is nice. And the first one, ignore moving platforms, they don't do anything. Right. I need to stress that don't use them because they don't work. Pressure pads. So, if you grab one of these, throw it in here, you're going to see the physical pressure pad, and then the box around it, which is its area of effect, pretty much, which is this thing. So, if we take this thing, drag it down to about halfway, maybe. Right, it has 2 stages. This top thing is just to keep it all together. The bottom one is where everything happens. In here, I'm going to change that to pressure pad 1, just so we know which one's which. So if we have more than one, we can know which one's which. I'll change this to door 1 as well. So, if we go into the pressure pad, we can go down here, pressure switch control, go affected object. So the affected object is the door, pretty much, the thing that we want to be affected by the switch. So we take the door, much like everything else, drag it, put it in there. So now that door is going to be affected by that switch. Other things that this switch has is a move distance, so when you press it, how far it's going to move. I've got it set to -1, so it'll go down by 1. And then it has a speed of 10, that's how fast it moves. That's a bad number, I'm going to change that to 2. Because it's a bit too fast. And then, yeah, so the pressure pad just has, it'll go down while there's a character or an object on it, and leave the door open. Before the door will work, we need to go onto the door, go to door control, and it has a position change. At the moment it goes down by 10, I'm going to change that to go up by 7, and a speed, I'm going to give that 3. So that will go up at speed of 3, and move to 7 above itself. So, let's go into the game and see if this works. That won't, right, this is what I was talking about, the things that won't work. Right, we drag it over here, that switch is in completely the wrong place. It will reset itself because it's got this thing on it, but the way that it's set up, that won't work, okay? This is the most important thing that I need you guys to understand, is that won't work if it's not set to 0 on the Z-axis straight away. Okay, so if your switches don't work, make sure that the top level thing is at 0. Yeah? Right. Let's go here. And if we jump on it, it's going to go down, open the door. It looks kind of twitchy at the moment. Obviously that will all change. Move up here, as it comes back up, the door will go down again. Obviously, alternatively, we can take one of these things, flip it around, pass it around. Yeah, let's put that there. And take a box. Take a box and whack it on top of here. Set to 0, obviously. So, that's going to spawn, sit on that thing. I'm not going to be able to get past it because I can't jump high enough. So, take this, force, just give it a little nudge, it'll stay on the physics switch, and then we can move through it. Yeah? That's how they work. That's how pressure pads and doors work. Alternatively, instead of using a pressure pad, you can use a toggle pad, which is this thing down here. So let's drag this in. I don't know why that's rotated, that's a load of shit. Right. Set that to 0. Works exactly the same, except it's timed. So, after, as long as you tell it to, it will click down and then click back up again. So, on the toggle pad settings, we have to open it up, go to the bottom one, and then there's toggle switch control. So affected object, we need the door, speed, which is how fast it's going to go down. Move distance, so we're going to set that to -1 again. And active time, we're going to set that to 3 seconds. Speed, I'm going to change that to about 2. Right. So, the speed is the speed of the actual switch moving. The active time is how long it's going to stay alive for. Again, if you look in this scene, it's in the wrong place. So we need to take the top level, set it to 0, and where the fuck's that box gone? Right, give me the box again. Right, that's not in the right place, but this one resets itself, it's not really important. But for the sake of being tidy, yeah, that does that thing. We can push it on, it'll click it down, we can run through here, and after 3 seconds, yeah, it'll go back down again. That wasn't really 3 seconds, I don't know what hold on. Did I set it to 3 seconds? I did set it to 3 seconds. Okay, maybe make that longer. Oh, we'll go through here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so that's how those switches work, which is nice. Yeah. What else should I show you? So, what else have we got? We've got down here Seesaw, which is just Seesaw. PC doesn't do anything to it at the moment, I don't think. It might do, I don't know actually. No, the PC doesn't do anything to it at the moment, which could be right, could be wrong. I can change that. And then apart from that, there's the spheres, which work exactly the same as the boxes. Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's just a sphere instead. Right. Other things which are important. The catalysts. I already went through that. Nozzles. Right. So nozzles. That one's confusing. Let's do this one first. This one doesn't do anything. Inverse Manager just moves things backwards and forwards. You don't have to do anything to that one. Spray nozzle. So this has a bunch of shit. All it is in the spray manager, it has the width, so that kind of cone that it shoots out, how wide that's going to be. At the moment it's set to 0.5, so that when we go on here and we switch to spray, it's going from the middle, it's going 0.5 one way and 0.5 the other way, and that's how wide it is. I don't know if it's going to let me change it in here. No. Right, so now that's set to 1. When we load it up again, spray. There we go. See? Wider. Right. And spray range penalty. What this does is it divides whatever the range of the catalyst is normally, when you're spraying it, how much that range is divided by. So, if we set that to 1, it's going to divide it by 1 and leave it exactly the same as what the other one is. Yeah? See what I mean? It's really fucking long. But if we change that to 2, it's going to halve it. Yeah? See where I'm going with this? And so if you want to make it like yeah, kind of halfway between. There we go. Yeah? You got it? Cool. This is the confusing one. AoE. I pity the fool who has to do AoE, because it's kind of confusing. So, AoE is a thing, right? I don't like it, you don't like it, you're not going to like it. Whatever, right. So, these numbers are very confusing. Basically, this charge shot is the actual charge in the cannon, okay? That's the number that's going to keep going up and down depending on the player input. The charge rate is how fast that number is going to go up when the player's holding the button down. The start is the starting number, so that will change when the game starts, that will reset itself to that. The dead zone is basically a number that it has to reach before it will do anything. So basically if you accidentally click it, it's not going to do anything. And max charge is 8,000. Yeah? These charge numbers are tied into how far the ball will shoot. So let's oh my god, this is going to be confusing to try and explain. Right. So let's use the cannon. Switch to AoE by pressing 7 and force. Yeah? Yeah? Got it? Yeah? Good. Right, in the mana cannon, open it all. Right, as I was saying before, I was rudely cut off by my recording software again. Yeah, open this all the way up until you get to nozzle empty. This is the AoE nozzle that you're currently using on this cannon. So as you can see here, there's all the numbers. Right, let's go on here. Watch FL charge shot as I hold the right click down. So I'm going to press it in 3, 2, 1, hold it down, it's going to go up until it goes really high, and then you let go and it fires the thing. Yeah? When it lands, it does the effect, but you can't see it because it just doesn't show anything. Yeah, so 1,500, it's going up by 100 really quickly. Yeah? So, if we get charge shot, if we just tap it, it's not going to do anything, because the most we'll go up to is about 2,000, just by clicking it. Yeah? You have to hold it down at least a little bit, and then it'll fire it out. You'll notice that that number is completely affecting how far you can shoot the ball. Yeah? So, if you wanted to change the range of the cannon with this AoE thing, you'd have to change the maximum charge, yeah? Because that's how far it's going to go. If you want to change how fast you can charge it, you change the charge rate. Yeah? Hopefully, you understand that, whoever's using it. There's another part to AoE though. That is just firing the ball in the first place. The AoE bomb is where everything happens. So down here, it's got a script called AoE shot, which has a blast radius and a death delay. Basically, the way that the AoE bomb works at the moment is once it hits something, then it starts doing the effect. It does the effect based on this radius, so it will shoot out 4 units in every angle with the effect, that the catalyst of the thing. Yeah, words. So it'll do that, and then have a death delay, so that's how long it'll wait before it stops doing the effect. So, I'm going to make a thing really quickly, just to show off what I'm talking about. So, let's make kind of a cage for a bunch of cubes. Yeah, this control click thing works for rotation as well, so you can kind of keep it all hunky-dory. Balamori. Something. What am I on about? God damn it. Right. Right, as I said before, you can scale these things. Don't scale anything else or I'll kick you in the cunt. So, let's drag this stuff down and put this up higher. Make this really small. And take a couple of these, make some new ones, make them small, drag them over here. Apologise for wasting your time, but you know, I don't care. Right, so let's throw this thing up here, make it that long, and put it about there. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a bunch of balls in here, a few spheres, 5 will do, I think. Right, so if we move the mana cannon and put it under here, the bomb, if we give that a radius of 5, yeah, and a death delay of 6 or something, it doesn't really matter. If we go down here, all these balls are going to fall in there. We can go in here, take this, and then press 7 for AoE, and force is already selected. Hold down the right click, let go, and it'll fire it up, and it makes a force field, pretty much. What it's going to do, after 6 seconds, it's going to disappear and fall down again. If I make the blast radius a bit lower, so if we make it like 3, you should be able to see what I mean with the force field thing. So you can see there, yeah, it's kind of making a force field and they're trying to stay outside of it. Yeah? You see what it's doing? Cool, good, wicked. Yeah, right. That's all the objects. That's how you make stuff do stuff. If you get confused, ask the question, try and figure it out yourself. If it's not working, ask the question again, I suppose. But yeah, most important things to remember: zero everything. I didn't zero this stuff. I was lucky because it didn't matter. But make sure that you've zeroed everything, especially switches, because they won't work if they're not zeroed. If you're going to move everything from the top. Don't move these things, because if you do, you'll fuck it up, and it won't work. And yeah, anything that you change, I don't know. Yeah, play with it. Try and make an informed decision if you're going to change stuff. Try and say why stuff should be quicker, slower, higher, smaller, faster. That fucking shit Daft Punk song. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna let you guys get on. I'll put this up soon. Maybe, I guess, probably. I'll fix that dispenser thing first. Try and give it to you. Hopefully, it won't be too hard to understand. Hopefully, you should be able to recreate some of the kind of things that me and Sam were doing the other day. Hopefully. Yeah? Make your own levels. Design your own levels first, then make your own levels. Don't just go gung-ho into it, because you'll get lost. So plan something first, and then if it doesn't work the way that you thought it should work, write it down. Discuss it with people, with your other guy. Everyone has two guys. Yeah. Anything you change, write down all the variables you changed. If you can remember. Yeah. And yeah. See what you can do. See, this is the thing. This whole process is probably going to be kind of difficult because we're not there guiding you guys through. We haven't really got a full level, so it's hard to get a feel. But do what you can. Have a play with it. See if you can make your own levels. Get used to how everything works before you start criticizing everything. Because I promise you, everything works in the way it's intended. From our point of view. If it doesn't work exactly the way that you thought it should, try and get it to work. Yeah? Just using these prefabs, try and change a bunch of numbers, get it to work the way that you think. If it doesn't work, either ask us on the message, or the whatever the fuck it's called, the group thing. Ask us how we're supposed to do something if you're not clear. But apart from that, play with it. Try and build some levels first before you start tweaking stuff, is all I would say. But anyway, guys, good luck with this. Obviously, us tech guys aren't going to do much over Christmas because we had to do a fuckload of work beforehand, and I have lots of dissertation stuff to catch up on. But yeah, enjoy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I'm rambling now. I apologise. Is there anything else? No, don't think so. Sorry for wasting half an hour of your life. But yeah, make some levels. Play with stuff. Don't break things. But remember, if you do break something, doesn't matter. Load it up again, start again. Whatever, it's not important. Make sure you zero everything, or things might not work. Right, go, make levels, have fun. See you later. How the fuck do you stop this thing?